Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot. First up on Weird and Wacky, Google has open sourced a hat shaped like a giant keycap, and it actually types.
Yeah.
So this is actually out of Google Japan, right?
Which apparently does like wacky stuff like this, like relatively regularly. I didn't know that about Google Japan, but like they've got a good sense of humor, I guess.
I wonder how many of their projects have been killed off.
I mean, clearly this hat is one, but no, I mean it's like it's a stupid project. It's a stupid hat. It's kind of glorious. You should go look at the article just for the photos, but it does actually work, and that I find that truly humorous. So. What I absolutely do not find humorous is this next story. Have you read this, and are you terrified? That's what I want to know.
Yes, I have read this, and I am terrified.
All right, next article. Ghost in the Machine, how fake parts infiltrated airline fleets. And so, no, you did not hear that incorrectly. Apparently, there is a company out of London that faked a bunch of safety certifications and faked, I think it said 60 different documents.
Yep.
And somehow managed to sell parts for jet plane engines that were not authentic part. They manufactured and sold fake parts. And so the quote from the article said, bonus parts have been found on 126 engines and are all linked to the same parts distributor in London. So that's terrifying. I don't know that any of them have failed, but the other question is why? This feels like so much work to go to make a little money. Why?
Potentially a lot of money, because they sold refurbished parts as if they were new.
Oh, okay.
And the markups. And here's the level of insidiousness that they got. So these were all for a company. I don't know what the full name of the company is, but it's CFM. It's their engines that are used on all these planes that these parts have shown up in. Even the company themselves bought bogus parts.
What?
So they didn't know it, and they used those bogus parts in engines as well.
What? No.
Which is just crazy. And you know what? We talked about this a little while ago. People defeating emissions and saying that they don't care about humans. This is a billion times worse
so
to me.
Scary, man.
Because
That's
this
so
is
scary.
hey, I just want to make money, and I don't care if people fall out of the sky and die.
Yeah, for real.
Right?
That's
this person
crazy.
for sure. If it is true, it's obviously just alleged. We don't know all the details. Maybe there's their side of the story and they're not talking.
Right.
But
Still,
if it is true, this person should definitely not be involved in anything. Maybe they can be a beet farmer like Dwight or something.
They'll be in jail. I think they'll be in jail for sure. Yeah.
That's the most responsibility. A beet farmer in jail is what it should be.
Perfect.
And finally, if you're trying to decide something and you said hey, let's flip a coin about this, maybe it's not as fair as you thought. Flipped coins found not to be as fair as thought. And the first thing that this jumped to in my mind was, they always highlight the coin toss at the Super Bowl about who's receiving and kicking off. And now maybe that's not so fair.
It's not as fair. No. So do you want to describe the theory behind it, or should I? Because it's interesting.
Yeah. So I'll give a couple of details. So they basically did an experiment. They said that, hey, there would be a slight difference based on the side of the coin that it started out. So before you flipped it, indicating kind of what it's going to fall on. So the same side falling that it started on, and just a slight difference, about 1%. So they actually did an experiment involving, this is crazy, 48 people flipping coins minted in 46 countries.
Yep.
So to prevent any kind of design bias for the coins.
Yep.
For a total of 350,757 coin flips.
That's a lot of coin flips. Yep.
My thumb just is tired thinking about that many coin flips.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that it landed on the same side as it started out with 50.8% of the time. So really close to almost 1% over.
And the theory behind it is fascinating. It's that essentially if the coin starts heads up, then by default, the coin is going to see more rotations as heads up than it does heads down, because that's how it started. It started in that position. So that one starting position gives it that 1% edge over the other, which is kind of crazy.
So I wonder if, and this blows up all the math probability. I think I probably need to go back and look at my classes that I took and be like, hey, I need you to improve my grade.
I'm gonna need some better grades
because some bonus points because what you taught me was wrong. But I wonder if can you flip a coin from its edge?
I was wondering the same thing. Like what happens if it's on the edge? I mean, that would theoretically fix the problem, but like, how would you even you hold it maybe up and down vertically with one hand, like flip it with the other, and like
flip it.
I think that solves the problem.
I have a feeling I would take an eye out doing that.
I think we're going to need to create a coin flip device that fixes this problem, because clearly, like, everybody is going to be like, "Oh, we can't flip coins anymore. My life is over." So everybody's going to need a device. So let's we
could sell a bespoke version to the Super Bowl people.
That's it. Yeah.
With every year you have to have a new one because it has the Super Bowl number on it, and that's only going to be $10,000. That's actually the domain that we should come up with, coinflipper.com or something.